it's pretty much just after the fact, like, hey, let's throw a policy at you, which is pretty stupid in my point.
Do you guys think there's going to be more protests now that this rule is being implemented?
There are definitely reports of people saying, you know what, I wasn't even going to protest, but just to be petty towards the NFL, now I'm going to do something. Well, and honestly, what if all the black players just take a knee? What are you going to do?
Well,
hate to break it to you, you don't have football without black people.
Well,
you don't have most sports without black players.
Well, officially, the NFL never really even took an official vote. They just kind of took a poll, like a raise of hands, and they were just like, all right, well, since no one's saying no, I guess we can move this forward.
But who's all in the room? A bunch of old, rich white dudes.
However, and there were a few teams that abstained, like the 49ers and the Raiders. They both abstained. They were like,
but there wasn't even like
a couple of like 6 or something like that, I think I read somewhere.
There was like 5. And there was other reports saying that there wasn't even really an actual vote.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, it's just no, some people were like,
what
some people might be like, because when I heard that, I was like, somebody's gonna be like, wait,
yeah, they took
so
a
did
poll.
They all vote?
They took a poll.
A poll is the form of a vote, but for all of you who didn't catch what Pete said, they didn't really have a vote.
For those of you who've ever been in a formal meeting setting, you know the difference between a poll and a vote.
Yeah, what's it? Something's I don't know. It's like an official way people vote. I can't remember how it goes.
And the other part of it is teams like the New York Jets are saying that they'll pay their players fines if they want to protest. So
shout out to the Jets owner, brother of Woody Johnson.
Pretty much, this whole issue is just like the way I look at it is it's federal versus state rights. So pretty much the NFL is just like, okay, here NFL teams, get your states in line and comply with this statute, but if you don't, it's going to be on you to basically administer punishment.
So essentially it's a passive-aggressive way of punishing individual teams and individuals. Like, honestly, it kind of just helps the collusion case against the NFL.
I think
they really just said, here, take this gun with blood on it and my DNA.
I think it does, but at the same time, it prevents future ones because now you have a policy of like, okay, now it's not just you're protesting to be social, to, promote social injustice. Now you're being defiant. Now there's a strict policy that says you need to do this and you're not doing it. And I'm telling you and giving you another option and you're still refusing that option. So now it's not even about just, protesting and having a platform and a voice. Now you're essentially being disobedient. And that in any job is a ticket out. So
yeah, this is an HR. This is how they, in certain jobs, this is how they will do things to get rid of you. When they don't want to buy you out and they know you're not going to just quit. They're just going to find reasons to get rid of you, and you have to work to keep your good name. And in a lot of cases, you're going to have players, fringe players, even guys who should get contracts, should get paid, are not going to get paid. They're probably going to be whiteballed. You're literally setting up a system of self-policing and censoring for something that should not be censored or policed.
I think the other part of it, too, is the NFL can't hide behind the narrative of like, oh, this is a distraction. This will cost you games.
Well, we have someone calling in. Hello, callers. This is Touchdowns and Tangents broadcast / radio show. Tell us your name and where you're from.
First-time caller, multi-time listener. This is the Touchdowns and Tangents podcast sponsored by the Raiders and Cal State North alumni. Right?
What's good?
Hey.
It's Conner Faulk, a.k.a. podcast host
What
of
the Faulk Show.
My What the Faulk Show. And that's not an F word. It's a Faulk.
That's it. Exactly. How you guys doing, man?
man?
I love the intro. I love the name, too. Think about it.
Good,
Talking
good,
about
man.
touchdowns and baskets in tangents. I mean, it's exactly what a podcast is. I love it.
Thank you.
So what's good with you, man? How you been living? I know you're engaged and stuff. Congrats.
I see you at Northridge a lot. I got engaged. Yes, I'm growing up.
Wait, this man is engaged? Hold on.
I'd say once you get to this point, I'm on NFL.com and Roto World a little bit less throughout the day, but I'm still always on there. So I guess the amount of attention I've been putting into it is a little less, but I'm always down to talk Lakers and Raiders and whatever movies at. As you guys know, I've been working in the industry for the last, 10 years now, so my life is pretty much film and TV, and so that's what the podcast is about, sports and film and TV, which is how the three of us got acquainted, and we love the Raiders, man, so Raider Nation's sticking together.
Yep.
All right, man, so I know you just did an episode on this. Josh Brolin, right? That's how you say his name?
Josh Brolin.
Brolin,
Yeah.
Josh Brolin. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, Pete.
So let me ask you this: he was Thanos in Infinity War,
And Cable and
Yeah.
Deadpool.
and Cable in Deadpool. Which
Uh-huh.
character do you think is better?
Oh, man, it's tough because Cable was great. It was a really good rendition of the character. First we've seen live-action movie-wise, but Thanos was, I don't know if you guys' opinion on the MCU or on the Infinity War, but Thanos was like one of the best movie villains ever.
Yeah.
So, that was an all-time villain. So he did amazing, man. I think he deserves, some kind of award nominations, don't you think? Thanos was awesome.
He hurt people's feelings.
So-
Kids were crying in the theater. Grown adults were sad.
Yeah.
I was sad. I was depressed for a week. And it wasn't even because
Did
of
you
that.
guys know? You didn't know at all, Kenny? You didn't know that anybody was going to be out for a while?
Yeah, but
Or
now,
you did?
but the way it happened, just on your edge of the seat,
The way
whole
movie,
way, it's like being on a roller coaster, and then your roller coaster just goes off the tracks, and your life is just over.
you kind of saw it
Yeah.
coming, but you were like, oh, wow, that was quicker than I expected. And but with that
Yeah.
movie, just the way, it really was a Thanos movie, and he made solid points. It's kind of like the same thing they did with Killmonger. He's kind of right. So it's there's a moral confliction, and it's kind of like
Well,
it has
we
you
did
thinking.
you talking about Killmonger, which I think is a great example because on the podcast, one of the episodes I had to release was a lot of the shows we've been doing because of MoviePass, regular MoviePass, pretty great app. They deserved it. I deserve some money from them eventually from all the promotion I've been doing. It's $9.99 a month for one movie a day all month, right?
Yeah.
Use the app, you sign in, it works fine. So I've been watching a lot, and we've been watching movies when we can. We're not working. We just do a show before the movie, talk about our expectations, come in and do a show after the movie, say what we thought, and whether you should pay, MoviePass price or the full price.
Okay.
So when we're going into Infinity Wars, we're so excited based on are they really going to be able to complete this freaking all-time all-star cast and movie? And the fact that they were able to do that was amazing. But the fact that Josh Brolin as Thanos stole the movie, it's something we haven't seen before. And I'd say, Kenny, that's probably why you were so sad at the end of it, is because they set you up, and maybe you're wondering, okay, maybe people won't get killed. Maybe I'll get to see your characters and grow in love even more. And they just hit you with it, and then you're on your knees, right? It's tough.
No, it was I knew everybody was gonna die, and just from reading the comics and all that. But I was just okay, that was interesting. But it was more I was pissed off at the heroes. I was like, y'all made stupid decisions the entire movie. Y'all
Shout out to Star-Lord.
y'all kind of deserve to die for this, and it's all your fault.
Yeah.
Every last one of you messed up. The only person I don't blame
Star-Lord,
is Spider-Man.
Absolutely.
But yeah, Star-Lord.
Spider-Man, yeah.
He was a trooper. He could have just stayed at home.
Yeah,
bro, I could have stayed at
He literally
home.
tried to send him out of space, remember? But Spider-Man's like, no, I'm going to hang on to the spaceship as I'm going into a different universe and shit. And stuff. And he stays on, and he's kind of one of the heroes of the movie.
Same
I'm
Doctor
not the
Strange.
biggest Spider-Man fan, but everyone is talking about how he, I don't know your knowledge on Spider-Man, but I guess he is one of the strongest and biggest Marvel superheroes of all time, really. He's one of the main guys.
Yeah,
right?
in the future, in one comic, he's considered the greatest hero of all time. Never killed anybody. Personally,
Wow.
I disagree. I think Spider-Man should have killed at least 2 people, but whatever. It's like the Batman rule. He can't kill anybody, but the fact that he's so young and his moral compass is so great, and he loses so much, that's why.
Yeah.
And then his performance, Tom Holland, there was just great acting in this movie. On top of that, they kind of the way they ended it was perfect. It was the perfect little cliffhanger.
I think.
What'd you think about?
Go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, what'd you think about Michael Keaton? Because that's actually what I was going to get to. Is that when I did this podcast with pre-show, I was taking into account. I was going by phase, right? And I said, who's your favorite character, favorite villain, favorite hero, favorite trope, favorite music of every phase? And I was starting to notice that throughout the last few Marvel MCU movies, I think it's only gotten better. And that's because for me, the villains have gotten better, right?
Yeah,
I thought
exactly.
Michael Keaton, awesome. You relate with him. I relate with Michael Keaton, right? Then Killmonger ends up being, he is kind of the hero of the movie. Black Panther ends up at the end trying to do what Killmonger recommended because he was right, So, and then you have Thanos. So they've only gotten better in their villains every movie. I feel kind of setting us up for Thanos.
And
I
now
thought that was just done so well.
Yeah, now they're talking about Childish Gambino and Michael B. Jordan coming back for Black Panther 2, which would be insane.
I hope so.
There's so much to do with
I hope so.
the script and the universe. It's just it's going to be a hard sell when it's like, okay, you have like Dark Phoenix coming out this year, and then you fast forward, we got to wait till if Captain Marvel is a flop, it'll kind of look, everybody will be like, you ruined Infinity War. Like you ruined it. You DC'd yourself.
I don't think so either, because it's basically going to be like Black Panther, but
it'll be like Captain America, but in space.
It'll be
like
it's
in the 90s, which I think we'll all like. Right, we'll probably get some good NWA. We'll get some good music from the 90s. That'll be funny. A lot of 90s jokes.
A lot of escape.
The bad guy is Ben Mendelsohn. He's been a bad guy in everything. He's a bad guy in Ready Player One. He was the bad guy in Rogue One. He's also on this show Bloodline on Netflix for your older viewers.
I heard of that.
Or listeners would know that show. So he's a good villain. So overall, I think it's awesome. But I think for me, there's just so much pressure because you see Infinity War. Like Captain Marvel is the only way they're going to beat Thanos, and she is the way they're going to beat Thanos. So it's like, okay, how are they going to explain why she's so powerful and why she gets to beat this guy who basically just made everyone his, he just ruled everybody. So there's a lot of pressure on that movie, man. I don't know, but MCU, they haven't really let us down yet, have they? So,
they haven't. Beginning, shout out to Spider-Man again because he actually got the Infinity Gauntlet off. Like he got it off.
Did.
I was so pissed the first time I saw.
It took me 3 movies to notice that it was literally off. Like,
I was like,
the hand was out.
Yeah.
Star Wars can't come back now. And then Guardians of the Galaxy, like they're supposed to still bring in Adam Warlock. I don't know how they're gonna do that. Like apparently as a Soul Stone. Like there's all these. It just makes me like feel really bad. And not care about Aquaman, even though I care about, like, I want Aquaman to be a good movie. I'm just like, DC, they're just done. They're done.
Well, I guess for me, the only way to survive with that is to not look at them the same, So MCU and DC are just separated. I don't look at them the same. They don't even look the same.
Yeah.
Some of the movies, Like Batman vs. Superman, okay. I'll be one of the people out there who say, what's the Falk show? The first cut in theaters, I thought was fucking terrible, okay? The director's cut of Batman vs. Superman was much better. It was actually watchable. Okay, they put in like 40 minutes of stuff that actually explained things of why the characters were at certain places and why they felt the way they did. And let's be honest, there's like 30 minutes of just cool CGI fighting, which sometimes you're bored. You want to watch some of that. True. While you're like working on something or preparing for a podcast or worried about who the Raiders are going to draft or the Lakers are going to sign Max Steele. A bit of a foreshadowing, but so.
And
that's kind of how I look at it, man.
And on that point, like, I don't think there was a better like illustration of that than seeing Infinity War and then going and seeing Deadpool. Like, Deadpool 2 was a great movie, like, but it was just an episode. Like, it was just a story. It was just a comic. Like, it was pure entertainment. Versus Infinity War is like all these
cinematic masterpiece, somewhat.
Not just that, but
kind of, yeah.
Just all the undertones and just kind of everything tying together the whole Marvel universe. It's just like an epic.
And
it is. It's been done so well. The patience, right, of all that time putting in. I mean, it's crazy. I look at it too as a per dollar value, right? So how much value did we get for the high budget? And in a movie like Infinity Wars, I think we got every dollar. I actually did see that twice. I'm not a person to watch movies multiple times a year.
Me neither.
But it was actually the second time, man. It really was. So obviously we're on here. We're superhero movie homers, but it's for me, it's the second best superhero movie ever. To Batman Begins, because for me, Batman Begins kind of like changed my life, and Infinity War even also was affected by Batman Begins.
Wait,
Batman Begins changed movies, dude.
That's
so
the one
for me.
with...
I'm a homer, dude.
I think with George Clooney, right?
No, that's
Batman Beyond was, I forget which one was George Clooney, but I hate that one. That's the worst Batman movie ever. The one with George Clooney.
Dude, it wasn't George Clooney. It was Bale. That was the first Bale movie.
Yeah.
The first Christopher Nolan movie. So it was that, and then you got Dark Knight, which would be considered probably critically and a better made movie. Overall the quality is better, right? Yeah. But Batman Begins, I mean, literally, okay, the new James Bond is because of Batman Begins. Grittier, based in realism. Things. MCU, just look at how they do Daredevil. Daredevil doesn't exist the way it does without a movie like Batman Begins. So for me, it's kind of like I'm like one of those old guys. And I'm like, back in my day, there was some movie, and none of this would exist for that. Yeah, that's true, man.
True. I only think of Daredevil in the Netflix terms. I hate Iron Fist. He's the worst.
I'm not saying Ben Affleck, bro. Yeah.
Like Ben Affleck, he kind of got a raw deal, but it's like, what was the worst movie, Daredevil or Green Lantern? Because I don't think Green Lantern was that bad. They just didn't continue it.
Yeah, probably Daredevil. What do you think, Pete?
I would say probably Daredevil, just